Welcome back, everybody. Welcome Jake Valentine back as well. For round 3, we've got a heater. The old Sultai versus Izzet matchup.
Luke beat me last Friday with these Izzet Drakes.
Serves you right.
Pretty close here. Store just got in the new
Katanas.
Ultimate Guard Katana sleeves. We're looking at John really wants his to be yellow.
Yellow AF. I don't think the yellow ones are particularly yellow if it's that accurate to the...
We looked at the green ones here. I got a box of green ones and a box of purple ones. The best yellow sleeve I've ever had was not Ultimate Guard, Ultra Pro.
Yeah.
Used to make one in a color called Canary Yellow.
Oh, sure.
It was yellow. It was like amazing. They were a little see-through, but it wasn't. This was pre-flip cards, so it didn't matter.
I want to make people puke when I play my commander deck. Just like, oh god, it's so bright. That's a Pteramander.
Pteramander.
That's gonna have Jake puking here eventually.
Yeah, so Luke has dive downs in this deck.
Leave the Assassin's Trophy on top. That's a big one here.
All right. So this is one way to get around this Izzet deck is to go wide. There's Surveil 2, draw 1. If neither of these are a land, you just bin them, Luke.
I think one of them's land, and one of them is a lava coil.
All right, so he's going to leave the lava coil on top and draw the
island. Man,
the island card.
I might have binned them both for a mountain to try and get this shock online.
I would have been the lava coil for sure.
Yeah, lava coil. You already got a shock. Lava coil's not doing a whole lot else for you.
Right. And we're in a race. So, like, you know you're going to need to get to 4, maybe 5 lands.
Jade Light Rapier. Oh, man.
Jade Light's going to... I imagine he's going to keep it and then bin it. Oh, no, he's going to bin it and bin it.
Yeah, he wants land.
Right.
He has a Vivian in hand, needs his 5th land.
All right, so Luke drew the lava coil here, so that's
a thing.
You knew it was coming.
I would have probably charted a course first.
I would have attacked, charted a course.
I think you need to jump here. You can't go to 3.
But we're moving into Jake's 5th turn.
Right.
And so, like, he's going to Vivian kill your guy. So if you, unless you want to, like, keep up the blue to try and dive it down.
Yeah, you really need to hit your 4th land off of the charter course.
I think you need to hit his 4th land off of the Surveil card.
Oh, sure.
So it's a math equation, right, guys? So when Luke keeps the lava coil on top, he already has spells in his hand that are similar that he can't cast.
Yeah.
That he's never going to get himself to. You know what I mean? So keeping the lava coil there is not helping him.
Draw 2, we're going to have to discard opt here.
It's just preventing him from...
Oh, no, we've got 2 spell pierces. We can roll this. So we're going to shock, branch walk.
Yeah, it's becoming redundant. Is what that lava coil was, and preventing him from drawing the 5th land in order to
and here comes the
make things happen.
Luke can't be happy about that one.
So Luke has a big chore ahead of him now.
Oh,
he's got to... He's got to kill the merfolk this turn. He then... Doesn't necessarily have to be this turn, but he then has to figure out how to cast a Drake and protect it with a dive down. or cast a Terramander protected with a dive down in order to kill the Vivian Raid. Here's the dive down to protect. The Assassin's Trophy to take care of the game.
Yeah, Luke, a little bit stumbly on land, but that's what this Izzet deck does. The best players still sometimes stumble on land a little bit.
Yep.
It's definitely the skill-intensive portion of playing this deck.
drawing land.
No, knowing when to like dig for land and when to dig for heat, and when like you have to pass on something like a lava coil, which is traditionally very strong in this matchup.
Right.
To get another red land, to get the shock online that turn.
Yeah.
It was very important.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like my perspective on the game recently, but I've been asking myself a lot more when I'm playing Magic, can I win from this position, or do I need to generate a situation do I need to generate a different situation in order to put myself in a winning position? And so like sometimes it's about playing through what's in front of you.
Right.
Trading off all the creatures, trading off cards in hand, whatever, to find yourself in a different phase of the game, and that's where you can win. It might be hurting me because I'm on a horrific losing streak. Like I don't think I've prized an F&M in a couple weeks. I definitely got my butt kicked last week, so
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'm thinking about it all wrong.
Well, anytime you have like a major paradigm shift like that, where like you're changing the way you're thinking about the game,
yeah,
there's gonna be some rocky roads, brother. There's gonna be some rocky roads.
Thanks for the encouragement, brother. Yeah. Hopefully we can.
I think you could also like benefit from bringing a more tuned deck. Like, you just kind of threw all the red cards that you have together, and like, yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely not. I'm not saying I'm putting in my best effort and still losing.
Right.
I'm definitely like, okay, I get off work at like 5:15. I got to be here by 6:30. I've got an hour and 15 minutes to like,
yeah,
find all these cards, and I'd really like to take a 30-minute nap in there. So.
You do have 7 days between every F&M.
Yes. Can I tell you about how lazy I am?
Please do.
Very.
Okay.
Is probably
figured it out.
Really the only way to describe it.
I have one in the car. I have one right there.
Not the laziest in Los Angeles County by any means, but
one right here, but that,
you know, still in the running for laziest worldwide.
All right.
I don't like people.
Nobody picking that one up. All right, friends.
Yeah, we're just gonna let that one go.
Let that reference go.
We'll let it float out there.
All right.
Looks like Luke took out some Terramancers. Probably added some Niv Mizzets.
Yeah.
Which is typically what you do when you take out the Terramancer. I'm not terribly excited about that exchange in this matchup, because I think that no matter what you do, you have to make it a race. And if you don't make it a race, you just lose. And Terramancer is much better than Niv at doing that. I don't think Niv Mizzet outgrinds the Golgari deck necessarily. Certainly can.
Yeah, I definitely think Terramander has its place in putting you on a race. I think Jake has so much removal, it's almost unreasonable to try and get.
There's actually not a lot of removal in these Sultai decks anymore.
Francis Contempt, Assassin's Trophy,
Two
Chupacabras. All 2-0s?
Depends on the build, but Chupacabra is anywhere from 2 to 4, but Vratzes and Assassin's Trophies are typically just 2-0s.
Here's a Lava Coil from Luke. That's a big coil.
That's a big coil.
Jake is known for this, man. The guy's got the heart of a lion will run those wild growth walkers out there willy-nilly.
Yes.
Like, he will make you have it. I don't have that kind of,
Enigma Drake with backup. This is what you want to see.
Yep. He's in the right place. It's a 2-4 right now.
Jake thinking about the Assassin's Trophy, but accelerating Luke at this point is not exactly where we want to be either. He needs a land to be able to cast that Chupacabra that we just saw. And the fact that Luke saw it and is still getting his Assassin's Trophy tells him that Jake is light on lands.
All right.
What was that?
Yep, on effects like that, you have to go confirm with your opponent that they want to skip the search. So
Found it.
Don't ever let them.
Doesn't really matter anymore.
Here's the lightest of Jades.
We're going to shock this in response, I feel. Shocking. Cast down going to stay on top.
I let the first Explorer resolve. And then if it's a land, then I let the second Explorer resolve. And then I choose whether or not to shock it.
Okay. I don't think that's particularly great, but it's fine.
So it makes your opponent make decisions with less information?
Well, I understand.
All right. Cast down on Drake at numero deuce.
I would probably Chupacabra there. Unless you really have him on the Niv-Mizzet plan.
There's 5.
For Ralzeric.
And Jake's removals lined up really nicely here. Save the contempt for this Ralzeric. Luke's going to put that one down. And the dive down in hand. Dive down does not target planeswalkers.
Does not. Jake with a Plague Crafter. He can run out here.
All right.
That's a good one.
That's not a bad one. Plague Crafter and All-Star in all the formats.
I would have probably played the Branch Walker first and then the Plague Walker.
Right, you get a bigger
Plague
guy
Crafter.
out of it.
Yeah.
If you're
Terramander.
you guys are hunting for a hot one in your commander game, put a Plague Crafter in your deck.
Yeah, Plague Crafter is a solid commander one.
All right. What do we got here? You got 4 or 5 in there? 3? So it's going to cost him 5 to evolve this.
A big 5.
Adapt.
All right. We're going to take the Branch Walker off the board.
This makes 4 for the Terramander. Interesting. Here's the Vivian Reed. Target's there. Last card in hand is a dive down.
That's good. Up to 5, so we can pay the 3. Pop him up. This Vivian Reed's going down.
Nice. We got a real good exchange on that dive down. He's going to get taken care of by this Chupacabra, however. So.
Don't know what he drew.
Oh,
another
jeez.
dive down.
Rips
Yikes.
one off the top. And now Luke can justifiably race. Take 5.
Jake has another removal spell on him, but if Luke has another dive down, let's see it. No,
He feigned it.
he feigned it.
So this is actually right where the Sultai deck wants to be. It's so much better off the top than Luke's deck here.
Yeah.
Luke's deck has a lot of draw and discard. It's got dive downs in it, which don't do anything in this spot. So the best thing he can do is draw a Planeswalker or a Niv-Mizzet. And neither of those are super impressive in getting him out of this spot.
Well, we were able to disdainful stroke the Crassus.
Well, Jake still drew a bunch of cards and gained a bunch of life.
Yeah.
So that card's fair.
Drew 2, gain 2. Not the end of the world, but we've got a clock going. Luke has one more turn. Jake kept a duress. I think he's just going to...
We got our, here's a Drake. This is a card.
That's a Drake. All right.
Okay. Luke could.
Don't call it a comeback.
He never left. Here's duress. You got a spell piercer, right?
Yeah, just let it go. Cast it down. Force him to tap more so he can add more to the board this turn. That's fine.
Yeah, spell piercer is a dead card this late in the game.
Luke down to 4. What do we got off the top? Oh, it's another Crackling Drake.
Top of Luke's deck has been friendly, as I talk about how the top of Jake's deck is so much better.
Just an island this time, but that's a
okay.
big Crackling Drake.
As far as Jake knows, it's any card with a magic back.
All right. Jake whiffs on the draw. Luke whiffs on the draw.
Don't play it. Just let him. Just
Can't
hold him,
attack.
Jake. There you go.
He does attack. Oh, he's got 6.
He's got.
He's winning the race.
Is he winning the race? Does he get him on the swing back here? That's insane.
I don't know that he gets on the swing back. Yeah, he does.
What a game!
Was it 9? It was.
It had to have been
6,
10.
7, 8, 9. I don't know where the
So
10
he
was,
evolved the Terminator for 3 before he added Lava Coil, Spell Pierce to the board.
Yeah, so it's 8.
There had to have been another one in there because he went from 19 to 9 and then 9 to 0.
So there you go. You see the Izzet Drake's deck really turning the corner there after some dire straits.
I think he got pretty lucky on that game, to be completely fair. The dive down off the top, for a deck that you claim to have not a lot of removal, Jake cast a lot of removal spells.
Yeah, so he boards in his cast downs.
Yep. So he's up to 8, 10 removal spells after board.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Well, you get to count all the Vivian raids as removal because all of your creatures have flying.
Okay. So yeah, it was a removal spell there.
So like 12, probably.
Okay. That's some removal in my book.
It's a fair number of removal spells. Both players just shuffling up. Don't have any play draw dependent sideboards apparently.
So Jake on the play.
If he can get out the gates fast, then that could be troublesome for Luke.
Yeah.
Especially if it involves a Wild Growth Walker. I think Luke has 2 Lava Coils.
Yeah, he's got the land for him too, so that's an important piece of the puzzle. Here it is. I think this one's going to earn a Lava Coil.
Absolutely.
Just the pure ability to, I mean, Lava Coiling that is the best target for Lava Coil on 2, but the ability to put a spell in the graveyard is really nice for Luke. So what the deck wants to do, it wants to be utilizing these interactive spells.
How do you feel about this when you cast Duress and your opponent like sorts their hand out for you?
It's fine. I always do it because I don't want my the opponent casting the duress to touch my cards. You know, I want to minimize that. I understand they might have to like pick one up to read it or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you pick up my whole hand and like manipulate it, don't do that.
Okay. I just tossed my whole hand down like in a clump. Like, here you go, buddy. Have at it. Do your thing. I'm not doing your work for you.
Don't say ooh. Don't say ooh.
I
So,
usually...
Looks like we've got a Rowl and a Crackling Drake off the top.
Let's see. The Drake is castable, but with no protection. So,
not typically where you want to be.
well, I don't know. Does he have 2 lands in hand? Because you could slow roll it.
I think he's just got the 1. Probably want to bin the Ral, though.
You think?
Yeah. Because if you keep the Drake, you get to draw the Drake, and then next turn, if you draw the land, you get the decision of whether or not to slow roll it.
Right.
The Ral, just not great. He's going to keep it on top, which I think is a play for weak-minded people.
Jeez. Holy smokes.
All right, so Jalen Ranger is going to gain him some life because of his wild growth.
We are never no other company is ever going to ask us to come comment because we, this John Douglas guy's got some insights, but man, is he a dick.
I'm obviously just kidding. I don't think Luke is weak-minded.
I think the play is a lot tighter than we would. Okay. Now you got to bin both of these. I don't agree with keeping either of these cards. If he keeps this card on top, I'm going to lose my gourd.
Well,
oh my good word!
It's an entrancing melody, so you're going to keep the take his Wild Growth Walker next turn, which is okay.
Oh, drives me banana sandwich when people need land and just refuse. They're just like, have to have this card, even though I can't cast it. I need it. I'll get that land eventually. I'll do that tomorrow. It's the
Here's a 2/2 Crassus.
It's the Magic the Gathering equivalent of I'll do that tomorrow. No, you won't.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it ever. Let's be honest.
No, all right. Fantastic. Yeah, we've got, an infinite number of idiots now.
Infinite dum-dums.
Guess what? While you're dicking around trying to find your land, Jake's casting big dumb idiots. Take his Crassus. This is the turn you've set up for.
I think you take the Wild Growth Walker here.
So if you does Entrancing Melody untap it?
No.
Okay, so taking the Crassus lets you block the Jade Light Ranger.
Yeah.
Which I think is super. Like, you're at a very low life total here.
You're not at a high life total. That's for sure. But 11 is not the end of the world.
So he's probably going to want to cast the Drake, as it blocks just as good as taking the Crassus does. Also digs him, hopefully, into another land. But we know that's not the most important thing.
Trancing Melody on the Wild Growth Walker. I do agree with this. He's going to take 5 here and go down to 6, but he has to kind of hope to whiff.
Yeah, so this line plays around Vivian Reed.
Yeah, it plays around Vivian Reed. Also plays around removal. Find another Crassus. That's not good.
No, it's actively bad for Luke.
Jake just has...
Yep, here's 5.
A whole gaggle of Vivians in hand.
A chorus of them. Isn't there like a name for like a bunch of reeds? Like a bundle of reeds?
Maybe.
Alright, here's Drake. Draws a card off it.
Card is the 1 of Blood Crypt.
Here's the singular Blood Crypt that he can't play untapped. What's this card in here for?
The other side of Dispersal.
Oh, okay. He takes down the Drake.
Plague Crafter.
Plague Crafter's going to have him sacrifice his creature.
And then we get a swing in for 5. Go to 1. All right. It's go time.
Stranger things have happened.
Handful of blue spells.
None of them.
None of them are going to cut the mustard here.
Clean up that board.
No. So there you have it. Jake takes it down in 3.
So I think it's a hard matchup for Izzet Drakes.
Okay. I don't think it is. I think Izzet Drakes is very favored.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how do you draw it up? Like what happens in these very favored games?
You kill the Wild Growth Walker or whatever early creature
Okay.
they have with your removal.
Right. Luke took care of that.
And then you stick a Drake, and if they kill it, you play another Drake with backup,
Right.
and then you just win. You outrace them. Because they have to spend their early turns on removal for your early Drakes.
Uh-huh.
And your Drakes are just like so large, like so much bigger than any of their creatures by that
Yeah,
point.
it just takes less turns of you attacking versus them attacking.
Right. It's not as bad as it used to be in the Izzet versus Golgari matchups, which was pretty rough.
Yep.
Izzet got Terramander, which is really good. Sultai got Crassus, which is really good, and having that like trump card in the end game is a big deal.
Right.
But the Izzet Drake's deck can still take care of the Crassus, and sometimes their Drakes are just bigger.
Right. Then your Crassus can be. It takes a good
Yeah, like you're
a
gonna
good
have
chunk of
to
mana to make a.
spend 6 mana to make a Crassus big enough to block and kill a Crackling Drake,
Yep.
and it still dies to a Lava Coil. So.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the Izzet Drake's deck is favored there. But Luke didn't see any of like he didn't see a Terramander or a 3-mana Enigma Drake early in game 3, which caused problems, and then he kept the Ral on top, which, as we saw, he never cast the entire game.
Right.
But like the next couple cards weren't lands either, so he wasn't really digging out of that. He needed to run the Crackling Drake into just removal, like just do it
Right.
at that point. And we just had to, I don't know, slow roll this Crackling Drake and take a bunch of damage in the meantime.
Sure. Very interesting.
I was literally about to say.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of a difference.
Welcome back to the Courage area. This proves to you that we're not the same person.
Not even close to the same person.
Well, I'm close to this person, but I'm not close to being the same as him.
In a geographic sense, you are very close to me right now.
Yes. How many matches we got going on out there? All right, perfect. I don't. So, they announced that the next Magic Fest.
Not the next one, but are you talking about London?
I'm going to talk about London.
Okay, we're talking about London.
We're talking about London. We don't know a ton of details about London. Magic Fest London.
Correct.
We know that there's going to be Magic played there,
Yes.
and that it is in the city of London, which is beautiful and old and glorious.
Rainy. A little cold.
It can be.
I feel like the weather's never good in London. I've never seen a shot of London where the weather, I was just like, oh, that's nice weather.
Okay. I've never appreciated that fact. I've definitely seen some the tennis tournament at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful shots of that place
Okay.
in good weather. They wear white.
They do wear white.
Anyway, they decided they have it the same weekend as the pre-release for what are they calling this third set?
The War of the Spark.
The War of the Spark. We're not sure how it's going to work. I have long advocated for Pro Tours being
It's not going to be. We know
being
that.
pre-releases.
It's
We
not.
know that.
It's not.
We know that it's not going to be that. Which I'm disappointed by. The thing I love about Pro Tours is watching people play formats that are previously unexplored
Okay.
or minimally unexplored. I thought with the sets, I thought the rotation of pre-release and then the next weekend there was an SCG and then the weekend after that there was a Pro Tour was just right.
So they pushed it back because the Pro Tour was doing too good a job of quote-unquote solving the metagame.
Okay.
And so it was driving down
Sales.
sales and standard attendance.
Okay. I think the last metagame just sucked.
Okay.
Like, I think the last couple...
Hot take.
I think... Well, no, I just think the...
Hot take.
Yeah, it was pretty... All right, fine. If that's a hot take,
It's not really a hot take.
I think the last couple metagames just haven't been very dynamic. I think this metagame is way better than it's been in 2 years, 3 years.
So once Dominaria came out, it was okay. Before that was not.
I thought that, like, black-red metagame was just, like, stagnant there at the end.
I don't
There's a
think-
good, like...
Like, Black Red wasn't even necessarily the best deck towards the end. You had, like, the Teferi decks and the Black Red decks, and it was pretty much
Okay,
a
the
two-deck
fairy decks
format,
added, like,
but-
a fabric to it.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly as good as this, where I've got... I mean, there's, like, 3 or 4 decks, which are all completely reasonable choices for a standard
I think
tournament.
more than that. I think you can get upwards of, like, 6 decks before I'm like, you're going to have to sell me on taking this to a tournament.
Okay.
Like, if someone was going to come up to me and, like, hey, take this deck to the next tournament, this is the deck for the tournament, it's somebody that, I trusted, and they gave me, like, mono blue, mono red, they gave me mono white or Azorius aggro, basically the same deck. They could hand me Sultai, they could hand me Esper. I'd be, yeah, that sounds good for all of those decks.
Right.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Great.
Oh, good. The round's done.
Just wrapped it up.
We'll be right back. I'm going to go pick out the last round here. And
Don't go anywhere. We're going to find out who qualifies for our end-of-season championship, right?
yeah, I'm also going to have some more hot takes where I make everybody cringe, apparently.
What do you mean? Who cringed? All right, you go pick it. I'll